All right, everyone, it's 12:01. We're going to get started. Welcome to Hub 101, getting to know the Building Energy Resource Hub. My name is Katie Klusny. I'm the Deputy Director at Illinois Green Alliance and the Hub Project Leader here at Illinois Green. And I'm also here with Kindy Kruller, the Senior Project Manager here for the Building Energy Resource Hub and also with Illinois Green Alliance. We're so excited to have you here today to share some updates about the Hub, to introduce new folks to the Hub, and really get your feedback on a few things as well. So to get started, the Hub is a project of Illinois Green Alliance, and we have a whole lot of partners that are involved in this project as well that I'll show you in a second. The Hub is a clearinghouse for building retrofit, energy efficiency, and decarbonization resources designed for commercial and multifamily building industry. The Hub is created for the commercial and multifamily building owners, developers, operators, property managers, contractors, municipal and community partners to assist with planning, implementing building retrofits throughout Illinois. We're going to show you how we're trying to do that throughout our slide deck here today. But first, I'm going to give a little background on who's involved with this project, how we got it started, and some of our goals before I turn it over to Kindy to share a little bit more about what we've been up to and what we're planning for the future. So just to get started, we have a lot of partners. Illinois Green Alliance cannot do this alone, and nor do we want to. We have so many people within our building network throughout Illinois that are working with this in formal partnerships and informal partnerships to make sure that this resource is all that it can be for building owners and operators in Illinois. We have some formal partners. The Building Energy Resource Hub is a project hosted by Illinois Green in partnership with Elevate, Illinois Climate Bank, ComEd, and the City of Chicago. And is supported by funding from the U.S. Department of Energy's Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy under the Building Technologies Office, along with generous funding support from ComEd and the Builders Initiative. We also have a number of industry partners, municipal partners that are working with us on many different pieces of this project, including BOMA Chicago, AIA Chicago, Powering Chicago, City of Evanston, Village of Oak Park, MIA, Slipstream, CDAC, the Capital Development Board, the Illinois Energy Office, and community colleges and county governments throughout Illinois. We're so excited to be working with everyone to be developing these resources. We also have an awesome advisory board that is helping the Hub and guide our product services and all the assistance that we're working through. This group meets quarterly to advise the Hub staff and partners on programs, offerings, resources, and audience development. Many of our advisors have spent many hours working in small working groups and focus groups to ensure what we're putting out into the world represents best industry practices, is not reinventing the wheel, and is meeting building owner, operator, and contractor needs. So a huge thanks to all of our advisors here listed on this slide. And also, the Hub is part of a larger network. The Building Energy Resource Hub is very fortunate to be part of a network of similar hubs across the country. As I'm sure you all know, improving energy is a critical issue for buildings across the U.S. And so this work that many of us are involved in inspired the Institute for Market Transformation and the Building Energy Exchange to found the Building Performance Partnership. And through this partnership, IMT and BEX is working with many of us throughout the country to support the rapid expansion of local hubs, to accelerate measurable, equitable, and sustainable action to improve buildings across the U.S. Participating hubs are serving their respective regions with customized resources that cater to the needs of their communities. And then we also benefit from this network of expertise, lessons learned from this larger network, and adapting resources for our communities. So it's a pretty cool group to be involved with, and we're very lucky to have this group. So now that I've told you who we are and who's involved, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we're going to do. The purpose of the Hub is to provide education and training to building professionals on advanced codes and policies, prepare workforce by supporting diverse contractors, via in-class or on-the-job training, provide a platform to connect contractors to project pipelines, increase compliance with advanced codes and policies, streamline access for building professionals and contractors to financial resources. And we're going to do that by providing education and training and streamlining all of these resources through resources on our website, education programs, and through one-on-one assistance over time. So I'm going to turn it over to Kindy now to share a little bit more about what we've been up to the last 8 months and what you can expect from us in the future. We also have a few questions for you at the end, so to see what you'd like offered. So keep thinking as you're looking through these slides on what more you'd like to see to take our poll. Turn it over to Kindy.
Great. Oh, okay. Thanks, Katie. I'm excited to be here and sharing all of the information about the hub that we've been working on, both among the staff here at Illinois Green Alliance and the building to identify how we can build capacity for our commercial and multifamily building retrofits. Thanks, Katie. So these are some bigger buckets of how we're doing this work. Hopefully all of you on the phone in the webinar see yourselves in one of these needs, but we have the opportunity to create new tools, share existing tools, and adapt tools from other markets. So we're very excited about that. I did put our website, if you haven't had the chance to go into our website, into the chat. If you have questions or comments, please share those in the chat too. We're monitoring that during this presentation. So how are we helping building professionals and contractors? We are creating opportunities to share around funding, in funding options and lending options. So you might know about CPACE, but we also know that the utilities offer on-bill financing as an opportunity for buildings to think about ways to finance these energy projects that we know will be important as buildings are thinking about ways to reduce their energy use, but also to reduce their overall carbon and thinking about the efficiency of their building. But we also have other financial products we are working on understanding and helping guide with the Illinois Finance Authority and the Illinois Climate Bank. They are a partner in one of our on our grants. We're also looking at how can we upskill the workers in many of these buildings. So through the Midwest Energy Efficiency Alliance, the MIA, as many folks know them, they offer a builder operating certification or BOC training. This is a wonderful opportunity for existing building professionals to understand ways to make their buildings more efficient. We also are identifying new technology that should be showcased and have buildings consider for adoption, such as combined heat and power, air to water heat pumps, and other new building systems. If you go to our website, you can see many of these tools and building systems we have fact sheets and tech primers to get you more familiar with these opportunities. From the contractor capacity, we really want to ensure that we have a diverse pool of contractors ready to take on this energy efficiency undertaking that is happening, not just here in Chicago, where Katie and I are from, but we are guiding all of this work. We want to help guide this work all throughout the state of Illinois, learning from our peers. But we know that we need to have more contractors and contractors that can think about opportunities to upskill. So looking at BPI or Building Performance Institute training or FIAS training, HICIA, the Hispanic Contractors Association, has offered both of these trainings, and we're excited to continue to partner and support them. If you're a contractor and you're interested in being a part of our contractor network, please contact us afterwards. We'll continue to share some of these tools, but this is an important part of the work. And lastly, we know the biggest question that folks have, especially in this current moment of just immense federal funding and other state opportunities, are how are we going to finance all of this work? Well, we, again, as I mentioned, we're working directly with the Illinois Climate Bank on how some of these tools will both be built and launched and what those opportunities look like. So we are watching how these both federal and state tools are coming online, and we're excited to launch our Finance Fridays. Well, it won't be every Friday, it will be Finance Fridays starting next month. So check out our education page on the Hub website. Yes, I will be posting some of those. Thanks, Dan, for your question. I will be posting some of the links in the chat. Okay. And then, yeah, I think for us, it's about just showcasing these tools, helping people understand how to use them, how they qualify for different audiences. So to put a finer point on that, we are really focused on a couple different buckets of how we're building this capacity. We see the Hub sees ourselves as a clearinghouse. While we are creating some of our own tools, we are also being supported, as Katie mentioned early on, by numerous partners. Many of our education series that you'll see on our website are from others. We follow the Department of Energy Better Buildings work very closely. We also work on EPA's energy benchmarking and showcase some of those tools as well. These are very important parts of the capacity work that we want to build. We're not here to recreate any of the tools that are out there, but just help make sure that they're all in one place and easy for everyone in their respective places to use. So education is an important part of this. This shows some of our on-demand education, the box in the top left. We think that that's going to be a great way for the Hub to showcase, again, some of these partner tools, some of our own tools. Katie's done a really wonderful benchmarking webinar that's on there. If you want to start thinking about benchmarking as a first step, we're here to help you with that. We also have numerous case studies on our website and other case studies that we want to showcase. Partnerships, our work with Elevate Energy, Elevate, the Illinois Finance Authority, and the International Code Council are also going to be important. We're doing programs with them, co-partnering, and building tools that I'll talk a little bit more about. Lastly, technical assistance, I'll go into that a little bit more in a moment, but our goal is to both provide these tools that are on our website, webinars like this, but also how can we help, what your specific needs are and connect directly. Our hope is that our newsletter, you'll sign up today if you're not already receiving it, is an opportunity to learn more, keep up with us. If you don't require our services today, but you might in the future, our newsletter is a great way to stay in touch. So our webinars are going to be one of our main tools that we'll use to showcase our new and emerging resources. We have our Finance Fridays that I've mentioned. We're going to showcase some of the SSBCI finance tool by the Illinois Climate Bank. We're also going to be focusing on some of the Summer Core small business finance tools, along with DCO has a couple grant opportunities for pre-development that we know will be really important as we're thinking about undertaking the building energy efficiency projects that some of you might have on your list. We also want to create more in-person gatherings. The Hub is just a year old, I think this month, right? Or this week. The launch, I was not on staff when the Hub launched in August of 23. But tomorrow is August of 24. And so it's exciting to see all the work and growth that this team has achieved. And again, I just encourage to think back to that diagram, that Russian doll diagram. Yes, it's Katie and I. We have some other staff members who help us, but it's really, we focus on our partners, our advisors, and also hoping to grow our volunteers to help with this work. Our peer connection is another way that we want to help build the capacity of building professionals and contractors. How we do this is either, we are planning some building tours. We're also thinking about if you have a specific project issue, we might connect you with someone we know who's already done it. We have a lot of wonderful professionals through the Illinois Green Alliance membership and community, broader community, that we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of all of their deep knowledge around the building retrofit process, and along with how do you finance it, and then not to be overlooked, but how are these systems and improvements be maintained over time. Next slide. In addition to the webinars and our education, these are some of the completed case case studies, playbooks, and guides that you would find on our website today. We have industry playbooks for engineers, building owners, property managers, and contractors. So these are very specific role-driven guides that allow for learning about and provide an overview for what is the role of building decarbonization, building retrofit, and energy efficiency in these specific roles related to the building and facilities. We also have numerous technical guides that have been completed, over 30 case studies, and we're adding every week or so to the financing opportunities. There's about a half dozen on there now, but we're adding more as both state and federal programs are being launched. Next slide. You might have seen the DOE graphic, and Katie mentioned that we are being supported through a Department of Energy grant. So we're very fortunate for this support because we are able to create some of our own tools. And so this is a short list of some of the tools that we're going to be looking to create and launch in maybe later in 2025. Or sorry, 2024, but definitely in 2025. So a decarbonization decision tree, this is our first steps to retrofit an existing building that you can see in the graphic on the right. This is a really important way to guide buildings through the process, through a step-by-step decision and understanding how to prioritize the role of capital planning, the role of the team members that are needed for that process, and how it's going to be funded and maintained over the life of the building and the life of those improvements. We also have heard that we need to have better access to contractor and accountant directories. Who should be doing all this work? How will building professionals find contractors that are suited for these types of interventions and retrofits to your building and facilities? We also know, because of the complexity of some of the tax credits that are coming out, that accounting and accountants will need to be identified, maybe even upskilled to understand some of these newer financial tools. So we're looking and working closely with the Illinois Finance Authority on how to grow our list of knowledgeable accountants. We're also working with the International Code Council on our stretch code primer, as the state of Illinois is enhancing and building the energy code. And then lastly, while we've talked about tax credits and some of these other lending tools, how do we grade and help folks layer them together to make the project make sense and get them to take advantage of the most of these different opportunities? Next slide. I mentioned the one-on-one technical assistance. So this is some of the ways that we'll be sharing that. So our help desk is launching next month. And then through our Illinois Green Alliance community, as I've mentioned, we're seeking volunteers to help with buildings that want to undertake this very challenging process of building retrofits. We can't underestimate the complexity of this process, and we don't want to, sugarcoat it, but we do want to make sure that we have professionals and experts standing by to help identify solutions and pathways to achieve your goals. And then later this year or early next year, we'll be launching an online forum for discussion. So we'll have our help desk, which is a phone number that you can call. We'll have our volunteer support. We'll have our peer connections and volunteers. So trying to make sure, again, that if there's a project that you want to implement, that we have guidance from a variety of perspectives, the discussion forum. And then lastly, we know that learning from others can help keep project momentum, it can cultivate innovation, and it encourages resource sharing. So we hope to launch a community of practice for building professionals that are going through a building retrofit together. We'll be conducting a poll, as Katie mentioned, later in this webinar, and this is one of the options about how to learn and how to grow your own capacity for your team, your facility, and ultimately your community. So if you're interested, please select community of practice. And then if all of this seems overwhelming, you've given us too many choices, Kindy and Katie, how do we decide? You can just email us, and we'll share that at the end too. So we are standing by, as I've mentioned, and excited to share all this information today, but we're not going anywhere. We have a lot of tools, resources, and team members to help out. Next slide. And then should you engage with us? Well, as I've mentioned, we do have volunteers. We are looking for volunteers. We have a volunteer form on the Hub website. Um, we really want folks to come and hang out with us, learn from us, learn together. As we've mentioned, that's a great way. We have a very strong community that we're building off of from the Illinois Green Alliance membership and broader group. So we're excited to find ways to leverage that community and share their knowledge and expertise. Do you have a project that you might want to feature, or a project that you've heard about that you want to learn more about? Let us know. We have as we've mentioned, a broad network. We're excited to showcase your wins. If you have a project that you'd like to have featured, please send it along. We're happy to showcase it in our newsletter, our social media, or in other ways. And we're also looking to for guest speakers for future webinars. We have our first lineup identified for this coming 6 months. But if there's a project or other thing that you feel like people must know about, we would encourage you to reach out to us for that too. The Hub newsletter is a great way to stay connected. It's a monthly, well-cultivated, I do it, just kidding, newsletter that is, we get all kinds of resources, events. We have a contractor corner specifically geared towards the contractors that we're trying to reach. And then, so if you have anything you want featured, we are happy to add that to our newsletter, whether it's a job training program or an upskilling program. Again, a project or facility that you think that others would learn from, or other related news to share. We are happy to help promote that as well. We really want to cultivate and create a network of sharing and capacity building, so we make it easier to do these projects together. Another great way to stay in touch is LinkedIn. We know not everyone is in front of a computer on a regular basis, so this might not be the best approach for some of you that either work out in the field or have another role that might not allow you to be in front of the computer regularly. But LinkedIn is a great place that we're sharing some of these more detailed stories, other emergent news, and opportunities to just keep updated on what's happening with us. And then last but not least, if this is, again, all overwhelming, you can just send us an email with your question. We appreciate you joining us today and hope you'll connect with us. Please subscribe to the newsletter, find us on LinkedIn. We are really looking to cultivate a very supportive network of building professionals, contractors, and folks who have expertise in this area. Thanks for joining us today. Katie, anything else you want to add?
No, thank you all.
Okay.
See you soon.